All right, so as I've mentioned before, I think the best way for beginners to learn how to mix color is to start with a primary color palette. So I'm assuming you know how to mix secondary colors and then gray down colors using complements. If not, watch my video, Mixing Colors for Beginners. All right, so I got some paint sample cards from Lowe's. I'm gonna try to match these colors as closely as possible. Got ultramarine blue, permanent rose, and cadmium yellow lemon. So I'm gonna try to mix these colors using primaries only and white. So the way I go about it is I look at this, it looks like orange to me, so I'm gonna mix up an orange color, and that'll be my starting point, and then I'll go from there. And we'll mix the darkest one first. All right, so I see that is too red, needs to be grayed down a bit. And so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna add some blue to it because I also wanna cool it off. So I'm gonna put some blue in there, let's see what happens. Okay, I went too far. Too much blue. All right, so we'll mix up some more orange. I'm going to use a little bit of this mixture to gray it down. Okay, and it's a little bit too dark too, so let's lighten it with a little bit of white, which is also going to cool it off. Still a little too saturated, so we're going to gray it down with some of this gray mix here. Too dark, so we'll lighten it with white. Pretty close in value, but this is a little warmer than this. Can you see that? So we're going to warm it up just a bit with yellow. Pretty close. Let's touch it on there. Pretty good. Looks pretty good. We'll do another one of these here too. I can see this is kind of warm, so if I add, let's add some white to this. See, the white is going to cool it down. So I want to add yellow to warm it, to lighten it up and warm it up. Now it still needs to come a little bit lighter. Temperature seems to be pretty good. Maybe a little bit warmer and a little bit lighter. Yeah, that's pretty close right there. Pretty close. All right, let's do another color. All right, let's try a green. Okay, I'm getting these things all messed up because my hands are messy. I'm a messy painter. All right, so first I will mix a green color. Obviously using blue and yellow. Now I know from experience that this is too radiant, and this one's more of an olivey color. What we're gonna do is tone down this green using the complement, which on the color wheel is red. So we're gonna add that to gray it down a bit and see where we are. Okay, need to go a little further. That looks pretty close. It's maybe a little dark, so we're going to add a little bit of white to that. Maybe a little yellow too. Close enough. Can't even see it really. Okay, now let's lighten it up, see if we can get this color here. I'm gonna lighten it with, I think with these color swatches or these samples, typically what they do is they just add white, but I've found that often just adding white doesn't, it doesn't get you there. That's pretty close. It's pretty close. Yeah, close enough for me. You guys okay with that? All right, let's try another one. Okay, let's try blue. All right, this one, it's obviously it's blue, so I'm just gonna start with blue and add some white to lighten it up. Okay, the value is pretty good. In other words, the light to dark match is pretty good if I squint at it, at least from where I'm sitting. But this, it leans more towards purple and it's kind of grayed down a bit. I'm going to add a little bit of red to it. Actually, you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to gray this down a little bit using, I'll mix a little bit of orange over here. I've got orange down here, actually. Why don't I just use that? So I've got a little orange here. I'm going to add orange as a complement of blue, so I'm graying down using complements. Just add a touch of that. I think I've already gone too far. Maybe not. The value is good. This does seem more purpley. This is warmer. So I think I went a little too far. We'll add blue again, this ultramarine. Pretty close, but I think this is darker, so I'm gonna add a little bit of white. Hopefully didn't go too far there. Does need a little red now. Usually you don't need to be this exact when you're painting, like, say, a landscape. It's not like you're gonna, I mean, it's up to you how close you want to be. But usually if you've got the value right, oh, I went too far again. Yeah, usually if you, you know, if you're close, it's usually good enough. You're not going to be matching to the degree that we're matching here. Pretty good. Actually, it's still a little, that's just a touch light, but we're going to call it good. All right, and then next we'll lighten this up. See if we can get that one there. And I squint to compare the two to see for value, in other words, for light and dark. Okay, so you can see that's a little too light, so we're going to add some more of this dark here. And a lot of times when I'm mixing colors, I'm using paint that I've already mixed before and reaching for it. So if I've got like a pile of like orange paint that I already mixed for something else, then I'll use that as a complement to gray down blue. And still needs to go a little darker. A little bit more. There it is. Okay. Shall we do one more? It's kind of like a yellow ochre color. We'll try to do that. So, We're gonna start off by mixing, let's see, we'll mix an orange to start. And I know I have orange down here, but this will just show you, you can get there, you know, in multiple different ways you can get to the color you need. Even using existing puddles of paint that you already mixed. Maybe we'll experiment with that in a minute. Okay, obviously this orange is way too radiant and too saturated, so we're gonna add some blue to it to kind of calm it down. Blue is I added too much. It's too much. All right, that's good though, because this will show us what we need to do. So it went way towards green. All right, so what we're gonna do is, what does it need? It needs some more red and yellow. Okay, now it's way too dark, so we need to lighten that up and match the value and see where we are. Okay, needs more yellow. All right, we're getting there. Oops, that was okay, too red. Let's add some of this green because I'm running out of paint. Okay, the value's good, but it's a little bit too red. I need to get some more yellow paint. Oh, I have some here. I got a little bit off camera. Oops, it's green, but we're gonna use it anyway because it's a yellowy green. Pretty close. Maybe a little warmer, a little bit more yellow. Looks pretty good. All right, let's add some white to it. All right, needs to be warmer. So you see, this is kind of a dirty yellow with green in it. Doesn't matter. It still take me in the direction I need to go. And that's more accurate as to what you're going to actually be. That's pretty good. You know, what you're going to be doing when you're painting. You're constantly reaching and you'll see piles of paint that you've already mixed that you can use for your mixes. All right, so that should give you an idea of how I go about mixing colors. As you saw, like sometimes I completely blow the mix. That's fine. I'll just set the paint aside and then I can either use it in another mix or, you know, or not. But that often happens. Sometimes it takes a while to mix a color accurately. So don't be hard on yourself, especially in the beginning, or if you're outdoors painting, it could be really difficult sometimes to, you know, to match a color. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this little mixing video. Let me know if there's any other mixing topics you'd like me to cover. But that's it for now, so I will see you in the next video.